Life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome. Prediabetes does. With early diagnosis, prediabetes can be reversed. Take the 1-minute prediabetes risk test today. Go to doihaveprediabetes.org.
Hear that? That's the sound of your life. But every time you drive after drinking, the music gets drowned out. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
I know you're going through a lot. I wonder if you know that we can get help. Let's see how far we can go. Love, your mind.
For decades, I've taught you everything I know. But only you can prevent wildfires.
Mississippi's trusted weather experts. This is Mississippi Live Weather at 10.
We're so excited to have you back here on Mississippi Live Weather at 10. I'm meteorologist Gabe Maynor. We have an abundance to talk about. Let's go ahead and jump into things. Just what exactly are we experiencing across the area? Well, earlier today we had plenty of spotty showers, and those continue into our Sunday afternoon. More afternoon showers on the horizon. But this is setting the scene of what will be a relatively rainy week. Rain chances climbing this week, especially mid to latter parts of next week. Breaking down all of those chances and when to expect it coming up in a couple of moments. But I also want to talk about what happened in Texas, making national headlines as several are still missing after the Guadalupe River in central Texas surged with more than 20 feet of water, causing mass devastation. Our thoughts and prayers are with them, and we will get into what exactly happened here in a couple of moments. But I want to focus on what's happening here and now here in North Mississippi. Caledonia, 79 degrees right now, but those feels like values still around 84, so that moisture is still playing a part in our forecast, but in the sky, clear and calm for now. And the for now is the key word, with more rain chances looming on the horizon. The first 12 showing you that it is going to be a calm overnight forecast, but heading into early parts of our Sunday, isolated chances of rainfall in the forecast, but really by the afternoon, that's when those chances really start to pick up. I want to take a look outside right now. Our Mississippi Live weather radar showing those isolated cells out there around central portions of Mississippi. Now, this has been on the rise just a bit from what we've been seeing in coverage over the last couple of minutes. So I want to put a storm track on this, as this is moving very, very slow, about 10 miles an hour. So we're going to track that out about 9-10 miles an hour, and you're seeing Tula by 10:26, Banner 10:31, and then on into Delay by about 10:43. But this isn't the only storm that we've been watching. Expanding things out, I want to keep walking you through basically what we're experiencing across the region. Down around Attala County, this was one of the more, I'm going to say, significant storms, just because it did have a few rumbles of thunder and definitely some heavy rainfall. Looking primarily at that storm track on that storm, again, moving at about 10 miles an hour is what I would say the max speed is on this. We're seeing several areas, including Hoffman, 1012, Cameron, 1017, Truett, 1023, Durant, 1026, and then on into Goodman by about 1042. So that's what we've been tracking. Nothing severe, but still enough of a note from what has been a very dry forecast. Let's go ahead and look at surface analysis around the region. You might see, well, Gabe, there's nothing on the screen. Well, you're exactly right. That frontal boundary clearing out of the area, still seeing some of the moisture lingering in our area from Tropical Storm Chantel out there in the Atlantic coast. That's cycling in that counterclockwise motion. And so you basically get this motion right here that comes in this direction. I'm going to draw this out here real quick. And so whenever you get these large bands that are feeding across, you can definitely get some of this moisture that trickles into, yes, as far west as northern Alabama, even parts of central Mississippi. So that's where it gets into our part of the forecast, is whenever you see some things like that. So that's adding the moisture, and we have the heat. Oh yes, Mississippi always brings the heat. So as that tropical storm remains out in the Atlantic coast, definitely seeing the chance for a few isolated showers in Alabama, Georgia, and yes, even parts of Mississippi until our next weather maker moves in. Now I'm going to stand in front of Chantel, as you can kind of guess where it's going to remain. Yes, right in the Atlantic coast, moving up the Carolinas, but let's go ahead and track out the next 24 as we head into our mid-morning, late morning on our Sunday. Still relatively dry across North Mississippi, but as we enter into the lunch hour, going ahead and expanding this into our area so we can get a better idea of what's happening. Isolated showers popping up in and around the area. Now, a few of these containing some heavy rainfall, but overall these are going to be very light showers, very brief showers, and will clear on out pretty soon. Throughout the day, it's a very sporadic development, a cyclic development that we usually get this time of year. Cyclic being it increases in strength and then diminishes just as fast and then develops right out ahead of that same line, usually following a boundary. So as we head into the latter part of our afternoon, continuing to see that cyclic motion of these cells, and that's going to be our forecast. I know we have about 20% coverage for tomorrow, but our coverage really peaks at about 30% by mid-afternoon. So the next 24, that's really what we're keeping our eye on, is those rain chances by mid-afternoon. What we're also paying attention to is that number just below it, mid-90s by the afternoon, feels like values well into the triple digits. We're breaking down all of that heat and, of course, all of those rain chances moving beyond the next 24. That all coming up in the next 60 seconds, so keep it here at Mississippi Live Weather for the very latest.
I'm an ex-drug dealer, and I'll be your sub today. Two milligrams of fentanyl can be lethal. A lethal dose is in here. Who gets it, I won't know.
It's cheap, it's potent, and it's profitable.
The sad reality is fentanyl is being mixed into everything now.
More kids should know.
March 24th, 2023 was a normal Friday. You know, we knew the weather was not good, but we needed to take shelter, and we didn't have shelter. My husband and almost 2-year-old daughter, Ethan and Riley, they did lose their lives in the storm. We're still recovering from it. We'll always be recovering from it. Matt Lawpon cares about the community. He's not just there to collect a paycheck. I feel like Matt Lawpon has proven himself trustworthy.
Great shot of the rainbow. You can see it better in person, but definitely seeing that rainbow on the horizon, that arc right there. This was right after one of those storms rolled on through, so nothing significant with that storm, but definitely got a great shot afterwards. So thank you to Parker for submitting that picture. And speaking of storms, definitely got that up around Pickwick Lake. This was as it moved across the Tennessee state line. One of the stronger storms that we had today, just a few rumbles of thunder and definitely some heavy rainfall along that rain shaft. And you even see a unorganized shelf, not exactly an organized thunderstorm, but definitely clear and evident on the leading edge. A great shot there out of Pickwick Lake. Thank you, Brooke, for that picture. Bay Springs Lake had a great fireworks show tonight. I hope everyone out there enjoyed it. I see several people that are out at the dam ready to view it. Michael submitting that picture there, and not only was it a firework display from us, it was also a firework display from God. Look at that beautiful color off on the horizon, interacting with that moisture in the sky, just making for a picture perfect sunset for a picture perfect fireworks show. Megan and Kemper Lake, that sunshine highlighting the clouds as it set, and that was basically the highlight of the day, was cloud cover returning to the area as moisture did build. So this was a perfect representation of our forecast. Megan at Kemper Lake, great shot there. Thank you for submitting the pictures. And if you have a picture you want to submit, go ahead and do that. On our app, you can do that at one of the tabs on the side. It says submit a picture, shows us where you were when you took the picture, and it gets a great shot there. 8 to 10, check out that. July 5th, we're still celebrating America right there. Right as I point, of course it stops. But you did see the fireworks show out in the middle of your screen. 79 degrees, so a great forecast for more fireworks. It's very America. We love our fireworks. But even out in Tupelo, great shot for some fireworks out there. 77 degrees right now, feels like 79. So that moisture not impacting everyone, but definitely building over the next couple of days when it comes to the heat, but also when it comes to rain chances. Day planner on our Sunday shows exactly that. By early afternoon on into the latter part of our afternoon, seeing those rain chances stick around in isolated fashion, but really peaking by mid-afternoon along with those temperatures. Let's go ahead and walk through that here real quick. Doppler radar showing those isolated cells developing across the area. That one up around the Tennessee state line was what moved through Pickwick Lake earlier today. Folks back in Bay Springs definitely grateful that that shower cleared on out before their fireworks show started. So it's going to continue to look good for the rest of the night. Down around Itala County, again, continues to be catching our eye with that isolated storm continuing to move on through. Overnight, though, we see a much drier forecast as that continues 2 a.m., still seeing dry conditions across the region. No rumbles of thunder expected and not even a pitter-patter on the roof from any drops of rain. Early hours of our Sunday, still waking up to mostly dry conditions. Some models had an isolated shower or two, hence the 10% that we have in the forecast. But I do have a lot of us staying dry for our Sunday morning. Excuse me. So low temperatures out the door for your Sunday morning heading to church. Usually seasonable this time of year. 72 degrees Houston, Bruce, New Albany coming in about 73, and other areas in the mid 70s. So a comfortable start, typical of this time of year, but that really starts to build towards afternoon, and we'll get to that in 1 second. I want to walk you through Futurecast once again like we did earlier with those isolated showers developing by early afternoon. In and around the northeast part of the state, but that really becomes more widespread in coverage, still isolated in fashion, but covers more of our area by early to mid-afternoon. That continues 3:30, 4, 5 o'clock as we head into our Sunday, just still developing those. As that sun's out, basically the chance for rain is there too during the afternoon. Once that sun sets, hey, temperatures will diminish and so will the chances of rainfall. High temperatures, mid-90s as you head out and about, but those heat index values even higher than that, well into the triple digits, so make sure to stay cool and of course stay hydrated. Forecasted rainfall totals, see the highest over and around Memphis and Hernando, coming in with 1/4 of an inch right there, but 1/100th of an inch here, 100th of an inch there. That's the forecast for the rest of us here in North Mississippi. Let's carry it over into our Sunday night and really into our Monday morning, where we'll track our next chances of rainfall. Not overnight, but really towards the latter part of our Monday morning, early afternoon. I bet you could have guessed that with how the trend has been going. Early afternoon, that frontal boundary pushes into Memphis and then on into the northern part of the state. All of that coverage becomes much more widespread. This is one of our more aggressive models, but definitely all models are aligning that there is going to be chances of rainfall for your Monday and even lingering into the rest of the week as well. So yes, once the sun sets, those rain chances dry up and we're not going to see a drop overnight. But trust me, when Tuesday morning hits and that sun comes up by afternoon, we're getting the umbrellas out yet again. So forecasted rainfall Monday, coming in with about 1/4 of an inch, 1/10 of an inch over there in Hernando, even along the Mississippi Delta, but out here in northeast Mississippi, about 1/100th of an inch. So some areas more than others, but still that chance is there to at least see a few isolated cells. Tuesday, more significant rainfall because we're coming in with about 3/4 of an inch along the I-22, I-55 corridor. So that's definitely what we're watching for the peak rainfall, but out in Tupelo, 1/4 of an inch, down around Starkville, 1/4 of an inch, and same thing in and around Columbus. So looking at that forecast for the entire threshold of the next 7 days. Well, let's take a look at that real quick. You see a lot of green on your screen, and what that means is we're going to get inwards of about 1 inch to 1.5 inches, especially around that Memphis area. So some isolated flash flooding concerns definitely possible, especially by mid to late week. Seeing that right there on your screen. Highest chances Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. So have that rain gear ready all week long. Probably even need it by tomorrow for a few select locations, but especially by the time we're wrapping up the week, that's when we really need to be paying attention to where those storms happen. Excuse me. Current alerts right now, and I'm showing you this for a reason because this is what's happening nationwide, what we're all paying attention to. Aerial flash flood watches are in effect, but those river flood warnings has been the key to our forecast the past couple of days in Texas because some folks out there are still missing as of, 36 hours from when this happened. What happened was the Guadalupe River at the Mystic Camp over in Central Texas, or Camp Mystic, should I say, over in Central Texas, that caused some serious flooding concerns right away, 20 to 26 feet in surge in that river, stranding a lot of people, and it happened just like that. Did not take much of anything. Rainfall totals, I know it says over the past 3 days, this is really over about a 90-minute span. And the area I want you to pay attention to is just northwest of San Antonio, just southeast or southwest of Kerrville. It's this area in pink right here because the camp that we're paying attention to is Camp Mystic right there. That's where over 27 girls were still reported missing this morning. That's a all-girls camp over in Central Texas. And they're still missing as of this morning, like I mentioned, because 12 inches of rainfall, 11 inches of rainfall fell again, just like that. And over a 90-minute span, that river surged about 20 to 26 feet, and that left the camp stranded, and folks are still out searching for those victims right now. So we are saying a big time prayer for those that are involved, for those that have been impacted, and for families that are just recovering right now. And I wanted to end it on that because I know prayers do work, and I hope that you do the same at home tonight because the more the prayers, the better. And so we're honestly thinking about you guys over in Texas, even here in Mississippi. And of course, if we can do anything, please let us know. But prayers are definitely appreciated, and please forward them all to Central Texas. We'll have more updates on your forecast when those rain chances start kicking in, of course, all through the day tomorrow. So make sure to keep it here at Mississippi Live Weather for the very latest weather information.
I don't remember how it started.
Go to that.
Our back and forth. It always came back. Dad! You probably don't remember what you told me,
That was perfect.
but I heard every word.
One in 10 kids vape. Each vape pod can contain the same amount of nicotine as a pack of cigarettes.
The Health Class Film Guy isn't the best person to talk to your kid about vaping.
Got a few minutes?
You are. Talk to your child about vaping today.
For decades, I've taught you everything I know. But only you can prevent wildfires.